Hi, this is Chuck Frey from Innovation Tools, and I'm here at the CoDev Open Innovation Conference talking to Chris Thoen, Director of the Global Open Innovation Office at P&G. Chris, you mentioned in your talk this morning that the typical perception of open innovation is that it's primarily seeking out the best new technologies. But in your view, it goes far beyond that. What else does it encompass in your mind?
The way it started within P&G was, yes, indeed, we looked for the next best technology. But essentially, for the consumer, it's broader than that. It's not just what's the next best technology, it's what is the best next experience, product experience that they have. And therefore, it's not only about finding the next technology, it's about finding the best overall design of a product. It's about getting the product in the best possible way to the consumer. And it really is about new business models, new channels to get the products to the consumer. New designs, industrial designs of making that product more acceptable and more preferred for the consumer at both the first moment of truth when it's on the shelf as well as when they're using it.
More of an ongoing relationship with the customer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. With your Connect+Develop portal site, what kind of systems have you put in place to ensure that ideas submitted are followed up on promptly? You mentioned that you try and get to those fairly quickly.
Yeah, and it's very important to not open a portal if you don't really have the back store in place, because people have an expectation when they put their idea in that there is going to be follow-up. And in the beginning we didn't necessarily always have it right. We were too slow in getting back to people. So what we have now is we have a dedicated group of people that essentially just monitor all the incoming submissions. And their role really is to make sure that the quality of those submissions is what it needs to be. If not, they go back to the submitter and try and ask for more information if they have it. And then once we have submissions that are appropriate quality, get them at the right places within the organization. With a understanding that the people that will look at those opportunities are also responsive back to our own internal group that is managing that, so that we in the appropriate time can go back to our submitters. We're currently targeting to have about 30 to 45 days response time. We're not always hitting it, but we're getting close.
Very good. It's impressive. We talked the other day in the pre-conference session about open innovation metrics. What are some of the most important ones companies should focus on if they're just starting out an open innovation initiative?
It's as I talked in our talk earlier today, it depends where you are and what is the culture that you try to change.
Yeah.
We ourselves started very much with what I would call quantitative measures, number of deals, how much of your initiatives have an external component. And that was important at that point in time because we just needed to break open the culture of P&G from very internal to external focused. Now, once we have that open culture, it really is about where do we spend our energy best and how can we get the best possible impact of the things we do. So we are looking much more at the value creation. How much value do we create for the company? How much value do we create for the partner? And it's more about doing fewer opportunities, but make them bigger.
More qualitative
measures. Yeah. So it's about how much of your sales is becoming enabled by open innovation, for instance.
You made some comments this morning in your speech about how the fundamental nature of competition has changed. What in your mind has changed?
Well, in the past it was really the competition was how good are our own internal R&D people in finding or developing the next technology, the next product. It's now more about how do you position yourself in the open innovation market towards potential partners that have solutions as the first portal you want to go to. Competition is going to be much more about, one, finding the best solution first, and then two, really set up a relationship with that potential solution provider that is not just a one-off relationship, but becomes an ongoing relationship where that partner feels they're getting all the value for the solution that they brought, not only once, but on an ongoing basis, and that the expectations and the opportunities for that partner are essentially amplified by working with P&G. And it's really that mindset of wanting to work with P&G versus having to work with P&G just because we're big and we have a big market size.
And I think you talked too about it being a much more balanced win-win equation rather than P&G trying to get the primary benefit out of the relationship.
Absolutely, and it's important for a couple of reasons. One, it's for that sustainable relationship with the supplier. But also, in today's environment of social media, negative press runs very fast.
Yes.
So if you really are not looking at a genuine win-win situation, everyone now has many more tools to make their uneasiness known to a broader group of people.
Okay, last question. If a company is looking to start out an open innovation initiative, what advice do you have as far as some things they should look at initially?
A couple of things. One is really understand where you're good at yourself. What are the things that you definitely want to keep internally? What are you looking out on the outside for in terms of solutions? Have that backstore in place, because if you go out and ask for solutions, people are going to expect a good response. So if you haven't set up a good system internally of how to deal with all those solutions that are coming back, do that first. The other thing is know really what you already know internally, because a solution may be known internally. So before you go outside, have a system in place that at least you know what you know, because you don't want to pay for something that you already know.
Exactly.
So,
Okay, thank you very much.
thank you.
You're welcome.